Hello, sweaty pepperoni. Xlog 3, and yes, I do have my notes. And yeah, as you can tell from the title, it's about perfectionism. So, to start it all off, why am I talking about this? Well, I recently made a friend in university who has a issue of perfectionism, and it kind of reminded me of how much I personally also, and I think everyone has a bit of an issue with perfectionism. And well, I guess I wanted to talk about it a bit. But first we need to understand what is perfectionism. Because I kind of try to Google on like how does Google define perfectionism, and it was basically just a tendency to basically feel defeated or find every single thing a failure if it doesn't go exactly how you want it to go. And I think just from just by giving that definition, you would understand how that's a bad thing. Because like, here's like, think about it. If you're always gonna because life is not gonna let you do things according to how you want to do. That's not how life works. Life is unfair. That's how life is. And if you're always having a setback that makes you stop doing the thing that you want to do, when are you gonna finish something? Right? Like, when are you gonna do that? And like, yeah. So that takes us to the next point, the paradox of perfection. So what do I mean by that? Well, when I thought about it, perfectionism kind of helps us in a way. Like, imagine you have to give a birthday present to someone. So the first thing that comes to my head, let's say, I think of a friend. I'm like, I can just like say happy birthday to them, right? Like, no need to give a gift. But then I remember that, oh yeah, this is a close friend. Let's give them a present, right? Like, let's be nice. And so you, basically, what is this? This is your inner critic. This is perfectionism in a way. You want something perfect for them. So you're like, okay, what does my friend like? And then you start thinking about it, and you slowly reach a conclusion of a gift that is technically perfect in a way. But then on the opposite spectrum, or the opposite side, is the other side of the other side of perfectionism is that, oh, you like literally paid for like a whole party for your friend, and then it's outside and you've designed it and you've done everything, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be perfect, and then it rains, and you're like, sorry dude, like, you're my best friend, but like I can't do nothing for you. The birth is over. You ain't getting a birthday, right? Why? You could have just changed the whole thing, right? But you quit just because of one setback. And that's the paradox of perfectionism, because on one side it helps, but on the other side it doesn't help. So, like, even if you think about it from the perspective of, like, I'm just gonna use artists because I do art. Okay, look at this. I do art. Okay, I'm just gonna take artists for example. If there's anybody else, you kind of will have to look for the other types of people, but I can only talk about artists. So I'm gonna give the example of the one artist who I know is as a perfectionist, and who's one of the greatest artists in realism, Leonardo da Vinci. I mean, Mona Lisa and all the other artworks, they're technically perfect. If you look into them, and if you've done a bit of art yourself, you might know it's very hard to render that way. He brings the realism to a whole new level, right? Like, I don't know if that would be called hyperrealism, but it is very, very realistic. The way he renders the whole his paintings. But if you look into Leonardo's history, he's a pretty big perfectionist, to the point that you kind of feel annoyed by him, because you're gonna find out that more than half of his art is in his secret diaries and journals, or little doodles. And if he, from at least from what I remember, I might be wrong, he has also destroyed a lot of his artworks. He has left a lot of his artworks half made because he realized, oh, it's not gonna come out perfectly. Do you understand how irritating that is? That this guy who could make beautiful things just quit because of one setback. And the things that he's made, I don't even think he found them perfect, right? I think he just found them perfect in the moment, or that he really, really needed the money, so he just ended up saying, fine, whatever, just take it, take this ugly thing from me, and just kept working on other stuff. Because, like, I think it was the Mona Lisa that, like, stayed with him his entire life, and he kept working on it because he thought he couldn't make it perfect. That is torture, self-torture almost. Yes, you could say, oh, you could romanticize it in a way and say, oh, it's beautiful, he wanted to work on it till it's perfect. But on the other side, you have to ask yourself, why is it beautiful? That a guy thought his skill was so bad that he had to keep working on a single artwork, even though he could have had made like 1,000 other artworks that might have increased his skill tremendously. And like, I think I've heard this. I'm gonna link it even, in the top right corner even. There's this video that I saw of like a YouTuber. I don't remember his name. I'm sorry, but who basically explained Leonardo's history, and his last words, I'm paraphrasing here, were something along the lines of like, I was never able to reach perfection. He never thought he was good enough. Okay? That is so sad. That a guy who has reached a humongous level of perfection is saying, oh yeah, I'm not perfect. Shit. Dude, nobody can be perfect. And that's the issue. Like, everybody feels that way for some reason, where we all think that we need to make perfect things, which stops us from making anything, right? I have seen multiple people just quit art because they couldn't make a perfect circle the first time they tried. You think I make perfect circles? Look at this. It's ugly as fuck, but I'm making it, right? And that's the thing, right? Like, make 100 stars, or actually no, make 10 stars, and you're gonna realize that every single star is gonna look different from the other. Humans are not capable of perfection. That is what makes our art so beautiful. Yet we keep wanting perfection, and which drives us mad, and then we don't do anything. And it's weird, right? Like, yes, on one hand, yes, you should be a perfectionist because it will help you improve. But on the other hand, it stops you from improving. Which brings me to the third and last chapter of this video. How to control perfectionism. From my experience, and this is experience of like making videos, okay, and art, other types of art, and I'm only like, I'm 19, okay, I'm a young adult. I have barely any experience, but from what I've experienced, the best way to control your perfectionism is to release stuff. Make a timer, set a date if you have to, okay? If you have to set a date to make yourself overcome perfectionism, do that. And by date, what I mean is the date in which you're going to release it to the world to see. So what that means is, if you are making something for a friend, let's say, or a sibling, or your mother, let's say you're making something for Mother's Day, and you want to release it, that means you need to finish it before the day that you're going to give it to your mother, on Mother's Day, let's say, for example. That's a time limit, and so you need to work fast, and you need to remind yourself you're not going to quit. Or you can go the other side. This is something I did on YouTube with my video making. If you look into my channel, you'll see that I've made like I don't know, like 117 or like around over 100 videos. How do you think I reached that point? If you go through my long form videos, you're gonna realize. If you're gonna go through my shorts, even, you're gonna realize a lot of my videos are just me yapping, barely edited stuff like Xlog. Right? There was a series that I made of 53 episodes, 53 days straight, 53 episodes, called Daily Doodles, in which I just talked. And it forced me to overcome, or at least control, my perfectionism. Yes, it was low quality, so you can always make another thing that is way better. But to reach that level, you need to first do your level, right? Like, you need to release stuff off your level and then reach that level. Technically, these logs are not my level. My level has been increasing, but what this log is doing are multiple other things, right? The reason why I'm making these logs is for a whole completely different reason. One of the things that it forces me to overcome is perfectionism, again, because it's a continuous battle. You need to keep fighting yourself on this. Another thing that this log is doing is it's keeping the algorithm from thinking that I ghosted the channel while I'm doing other stuff quietly. Thirdly, is helping me learn how to talk without any edits. Have you noticed that? All three Xlogs, this is the third Xlog, right? All three of these, I have not even once cut. Yes, I've added, in like Xlog 2, I added like an image over here, I think, of a tweet, but never did I cut, and that is for a reason, because it forces me to accept my imperfections. Because the moment you've accepted, you stop giving it power. It's kind of like how people say don't blame someone, right? Like, don't go ahead and blame other people for your own mistakes. Blame yourself, because when you blame yourself, you understand that, oh yeah, I have the power, so I need to do something. And if you still don't do it, that's on you. That's a you problem. That's no one's problem. That's a you problem, straight up. And yeah, like, and even then, by the way, this is everybody goes through perfectionism. Like, even right now, in my head, I'm thinking, oh, I need a funny scene in this log so that I can clip it and make a short. I don't think I've said anything funny in this one, or I've done anything that is remarkably funny. But I have to accept it, right? Like, I had to make this log because I need to release it on Tuesday every week, right? Even if it's boring, even if it's imperfect, even if I get 0 views, I have to do it. Even if no one watches, you need to do it. And that's how you're gonna get better and better. And I think this is one of the reasons why Da Vinci was able to survive, technically. Even if he was, I would say, he could have been better if he had made more paintings and if he wasn't so much of a perfectionist. I still think he was able to survive because he kept doing things. Even if he didn't think his work was perfect to be shown to everybody else always, he still did it for himself. If you look into his journals, he always doodled. And he always tried to get better. So I think he was kind of like always going through let's say healthy perfectionism and unhealthy perfectionism. And I think this fight is something that we all have to go through. And yeah, I'm out of words now. Yeah, perfectionism, it sucks, but it's there. and we all have to go through it. So yeah, good luck with your perfectionism, because I'm trying to work with mine. Yeah. See you next week. I don't know what the flip I'm gonna make. I didn't even know I had to make this. Okay, I didn't know what to make for Xlog 3, but I made this friend and we started talking, and at home I suddenly realized, oh fuck, I can talk about perfectionism. So yeah, here it is. I yapped about perfectionism now, and I don't know why I can't stop myself from yapping in videos. I just love it. And about everything else, like all my other stuff that I have to make, I'm trying. I just started uni. Okay, I just started university. I have to balance stuff, and right now I think I have to stick to something like this, because what else am I supposed to do? I have to release something, right? So at least I can release this, which is like a low effort, consistent thing that I can do. So yeah, see you later, sweaty pepperoni. Oh, and yeah, I totally forgot. I keep saying see you later, and then I remember something. I'm gonna make the subscribe button glow. Subscribe. Now I'm gonna make the like and dislike button glow. Like, dislike. I don't know if it works on dislike, but it works on like, I've heard. At least what I've heard. What else? High five me to watch the next video that YouTube is recommending. I'm just gonna can't wait for like 5 seconds. Okay, enough. See you later. See you next week. Most likely.